one of the old players of the Need for Speed franchise, so I went into this movie with a sense of trepidation, a sense that this is just going to be another movie that's a terrible adaptation, which is why I decided to do it last. But, like last time with Silent Hill, I left the movie with a different sense in mind, that being a combination of impressiveness and total lack of interest.
Don't answer me now. Just think about it.
I don't need to think about it.
The best way to explain it is to break the film and so its source material into its base components. So let's start with the obvious. The cars and the driving. The games are a love letter to all things car. Back in ye olde days, the games were much more about the cars, but later they added love notes about car modding and the modding scene. For example, one year the game's cover car was the McLaren F1, the fastest production car at the time. Then later it became the Mitsubishi Evo, which was the poster car for the car modding scene at the time. This film just went for lionizing the Shelby Mustang and the Koenigsegg Agera.
5.8 litre aluminium block, SVT supercharger and racing headers.
Koenigsegg Agera R. Top speed 270 miles an hour.
One car with the American muscle car build philosophy and the other with the European style build philosophy. That was a nice touch. So was having the cars not directly compete, meaning that the pub arguments over which style is better was cleverly avoided. All of that would go over most people's heads, but it was a nice touch. What was also good about the cars was that they did all of the driving stunts practically, either with stunt drivers or prop body cars. You really can see the difference as they had to shoot around the stunts, holding the shots in some places and putting the camera in places for the maximum impact. It was fantastic. But literally everything in this movie can't compete. The actors they have can act, with Aaron Paul in the lead coming right off the heels of his time in Breaking Bad, with a supporting cast including Michael Keaton, who is in Birdman that year, Dominic Cooper, who was starting out as Howard Stark for Marvel that year as well, and Rami Malek, who went on to lead as Elliot in Mr. Robot the year after. But they all just look so bored most of the time. Personally, I don't think Aaron Paul can cut it as a leading man. I think he could be very good as a secondary or supporting actor, but he just can't pull off the gravitas for a lead. But even then, the supporting cast phone it in anyway, so it doesn't come off as any worse. Then there's the story. If you're familiar with the games, the main story is a combination of Underground 2 and The Run, with some elements taken from Most Wanted. Street Racer suffers a tragedy. Underground 2. So fresh from prison he races. Most Wanted. In a super race set up by some guy. The Run. Most of the plot is an adaptation of The Run, as its central plot is around a super race, and the player car is a Mustang.
Daryl, it's my show. I get... Shut up!
After that, it's just run-of-the-mill. It's much more subdued than other racing movie franchises like Fast and the Furious, but it does try to be dramatic. It just can't quite get there. The best thing about this movie is the cars, thankfully. The rest of the movie is just bland.